A lot of people are invested in the FaZe drama that's going on. Initially, FaZe Banks came out, started talking about like everybody in FaZe and New Gen hated one another, all this stuff. He dumped a lot of money into it and they were never getting anything back in return for it. And the New Gen FaZe, they were demanding so much, right? And the reality of the matter is they weren't demanding so much. Now that there's more information, including from Cecilia D'Anastasio of Bloomberg, we now know a couple things. Number one, New Gen FaZe comes out. FaZe Banks at the time, along with others, basically tries to take over the company again, take it away from, Vulture Capital, take it away from, these big Wall Street corporations. For a while, it seems like New FaZe is actually popping off. Feels like New FaZe is popping off. They got all this new talent. They're all clip farming. They're doing a lot of, IRL streams. They're not doing like the old school FaZe stuff, right? And it's great. Having said that, however, it seems like there's less sponsorships than ever before, even though they are more popular than ever before, right? They're just doing more lifestyle content, culture content. It blows up. Part of that ownership is not just Banks, but also the guy who owns DraftKings. A couple months ago, there's a lot of drama around Banks, and Banks officially sells his 20% ownership share of FaZe and says, I'm out. Right? The guy who owns DraftKings creates a management company called Hardscope. And this management company called Hardscope is basically trying to show that the new gen FaZe boys and their, all this newfound fame for FaZe is actually proof that they can make random people on the internet become like super celebrities and all this stuff. They're leaning into the hype that New FaZe got, and all of that hype was specifically because of the friendship and the content that these guys were creating on their own. In any case, there's a lot of back and forth about PlaqueBoyMax, who left FaZe before everyone else did, and that's what Banks has been kind of dialing in on. Let's take a look.
I talked to Lacey and Ron today. They're all going live tomorrow, and they're going to speak from the chest as to why they left FaZe. It's the most I've talked to these guys in the last 5 months, and it's all just become a lot clearer as to like how this all came to be. And it just, it sucks. The whole thing fucking sucks for everybody. And I don't think these guys are interested in it being farmed or, this whole FaZe thing, all the work and effort that everybody's put in over the last 2 years. Those guys, me, all the staff, it's just being fucking completely shit on and stomped on right now. And I don't think anybody feels good about that. But the one person that's jumped straight on the opportunity at the fucking first chance they got to jump right in the middle of it and farm it, PlaqueBoyMax. You can always count on him. And wow.
Saying that like he's jumping in the middle of it and farming it is crazy because look, I know all of these dudes, including Banks. Okay. And my assessment from afar, as someone who knows a little bit of the background, but not everything that's going on. Okay. From my perspective, it feels like Max took a lot. Like he took a lot of hits, like whether he wanted to leave because he thought he could, he could do better on his own. And it does seem like that position has been now vindicated by the rest of the New Gen FaZe clan content creators leaving. Okay. He basically fucking sat there and ate it and still, let bygones be bygones and tanked a lot of the fucking shit that people were saying at the time, only to then reveal in this moment like some of the details that he was going through in the background that he never actually ended up revealing. So I don't think it was like a lot of content creators have big egos. Of course they do. There is a level of narcissism that everybody has, myself included. There's this little voice in your head that says like, oh, I have something to say and other people have to listen to it, right? There is definitely almost like a requirement. I think you guys all know this, right? As watchers of streams, I think you're all aware of this, right? But having said that, it's about how you manage it. And also on top of that, it's about like what you do, how you carry yourself in spite of all this stuff that's going on. And I feel like Max tanked a lot of the fucking shit that that was getting thrown in his direction, because we didn't even find out about it until after the fact. So let's see.
Max, I'm going to be talking to you directly. And for everybody watching, I'm going to be sharing our conversations from the time I left FaZe till now, including all the drama and all the issues, supposed issues that me and Max have had, because his cousin just went live and apparently I'm this fucking awful, terrible guy, monster, who Max had all these issues with. But as you'll see, and when I share our conversation, that's not the energy that Max has given me over the last 5 months. As a matter of fact, And not to spoil anything, but I've talked to Max more in the last 5 months than every other FaZe member combined. Max has asked me for opinions on everything from creative to content to his career. He's asked me.
Dude, he's like 20 years old. I think like, I don't know. I think Banks is being a bit, he's kind of losing the plot here. He is 20 years old and he's looking for advice and he's looking up to you in spite of the things that he's gone through, in spite of feeling attacked, you know, in spite of feeling like he got a bad deal out of everything. He's still like trying to patch things up, you know,
personally for help managing his career from here on out. He's confided in me about his team sucking and things falling apart. And the big one, since Max wanted to go live and talk about standing on business and I was right and look who was right and I left FaZe first and look at me, 100K viewers, high as fuck off the clout and the fucking engage, just proving everything that I said 100% right yesterday. This streamer brain shit is real. They are actors. And he jumped on this opportunity not because he cares about anything that I've done or cares about anything that I've said. It's because it makes the most sense. Kick me while I'm down and farm this FaZe shit and suck as much as he can out of it. And that's what they fucking do. And that's just a fact. Anybody that argues against that is fucking fried.
Yes, Banks and I are the same age. We're both 34 years old, chat.
This whole thing, like I said yesterday, fried. We're gonna get into the conversation. I'm gonna show you guys right now. And you guys tell me if this looks like a conversation between two parties that have an issue with each other. All right, so here we are. Here's my conversation with Max, July 28th. This is when
Shower, hold on. You still in the shower? This is our word it. Call me. Yo, when I'm on stream, I'm gonna speak highly of you. All this shit doesn't need to be brought to light. You don't even have to worry about that. And like I said, I apologize about that tweet, Max. You don't even got to say all that. I would never speak ill about any of you publicly. It really just breaks my heart. Any of y'all think I had any bad intentions. It crushes me truly. I wish talking about it wasn't so difficult. Max responded to this, said, I joined FaZe at 20. I respected Banks. After I left FaZe, Banks would call me saying I needed him and my career was falling off. He took advantage on the fact that I was depressed and in the hospital. At one point, I let all the calls get to me and asked to join FaZe again, but I kept going. And in November, I was introduced to a manager who helped me realize that a lot of the things he told me were lies. I've since leaving, worked with bigger guests and brands, and have a 2026 plan that is only even bigger than what I've accomplished so far. Thank you. I love you guys. Pray every day and follow your heart. See you soon, Prince. And then Banks responded to this, said, PlaqueBoyMax is a liar. You guys see that way I spoke to him via our text messages. I always handled with care. He fucked his friends over, left because he thought he was the program, and has admitted multiple times that it was strictly a career move. This kid thinks he's Travis Scott, and it's a shame it's come to this. Lying on / dragging someone who's only ever helped you. Botting views is a joke. It's all ego. He's literally just signed his message off as Prince. He's telling you who he is, just as he won't listen. Never one time did I tell him he was falling off. I always lifted him up. You don't have to take my word for it. Check the date. This is one of the last conversations I had with Max well after he got out of the hospital. He's a liar. Holy fuck, 7,940 unread text messages is crazy. Now, if Banks wants to repair FaZe, why the fuck would he release stuff like this? Nah, Banks got other ideas in his mind. Yeah, I think this is like, this is turning into a crash out, and is the bad. Here's the thing. This is bad instincts. You're dumping way too much in a way where you're dumping so much in a way where like you are completely destroying what remains of the like possible goodwill that you could have. Okay. It's very, very emotional. So this is the Banks and Max drama, but do we know if this actually relates to other members leaving? There is definitely an element of that. I don't know what the other people's opinions are on this shit. Yeah, FaZe Swag says something felt fishy about FaZe Clan when all the members were averaging 10 to 20K viewers with 100,000 plus subscribers, and the best sponsor they could get was 4Loco.
Of everything. They're back-to-back orgs of the year. Fucking demons, right? Everybody in FaZe averaging 10, 20K. Oh, you know, all the boys are averaging 10, 20K viewers. And then like the best sponsor we could grab was 4Loco. It was, I was sitting there thinking like something's weird. Like I feel like, especially with now, the best we can do is 4Loco. Bro, there's 7 people in FaZe averaging 20K viewers.
So the thing is, like, a lot of advertisers don't fully comprehend this space at all. They don't fully understand what those numbers look like. There is definitely that. The economy is also not very good right now for sponsorships. I can tell you from like all the inbound stuff that we get, for example, like CPMs have been lowered pretty aggressively, basically sliced in half. So there is also that as well. There's that element as well. So like even if you're hype doesn't really translate to revenue in the same way that it did. And it never really translates to revenue unless you have good managers / good agents anyway, because like these guys are old. You have to remember, I did ad sales, okay? I did advertisement sales for the Young Turks. And one of the things that I learned is that most of these fucking agencies have people your age who understand this stuff, but they're so low level that you're only the people who are signing the checks, the people who are signing on, to the people who are okaying advertisements like sponsorship campaigns. Okay, they're old. A 45 plus year old, a 50-year-old, a 60-year-old does not have any fucking understanding of who's popping off on the Twitch streaming side. They don't know anything. In many instances, you get lucky if you have a 60-year-old or a 50-year-old marketing executive that is signing off on a campaign because their children are actually fans of some of these people, and they're smart enough to ask their kids who is actually popping right now. So just because new FaZe was really popping off and had more clout than ever before doesn't necessarily translate to ad dollars, especially when old FaZe, regardless of not popping off, had a fuck ton of motion, had a fuck ton of advertisers because they were getting the glossy finish magazine profiles. They were signing celebrities and shit. They had a lot more brand recognition in legacy media. Now, that doesn't translate to real clicks, clearly, because if that did, then old FaZe would have been popping off as well. A lot of these guys are going, oh, sponsorships dried up when the bots left the building. No, it has nothing to do with fucking bots, okay? It's ridiculous. It is utterly irrelevant. They justify what the dollar sign is at the end of the marketing campaign, but that doesn't actually open the fucking doors. No 60-year-old understands what like a 25,000 concurrent live streamer actually means in the real world in comparison to like Nielsen TV metrics, okay? They're 60. They don't understand any of this shit. Younger people barely understand this stuff. People our age, especially with how diverse the media landscape is now, they barely understand what is valuable, what is good for audience retention, especially when there's new or newer platforms popping up like Twitch. Twitch is a relatively new platform. It's not new for you. You've been here for a very long time. You've been watching for a very long time. But the reality of the matter is, if you went out in the professional world and you said you're a Twitch streamer, even people around our age and younger are going to be like, I don't know what that is, really. So they had real world motion, but I think FaZe as a brand had fallen by the wayside in the marketing side of things. That's the reason why this happened, in my opinion. I think under new management, they didn't get like a lot of, they didn't get the same looks that they were getting under the old management, but the old management was sucking in terms of, you know, making content that people were tuning into. No disrespect. I know a lot of the old FaZe guys as well. Bots can't buy Nike shoes, man. It has nothing to do with bots.
That whole thing where he heard that I said, fuck y'all, blanks. Again, this wasn't aimed toward Max. This wasn't said at Max. There was never any sort of like racist connotation toward this word being used ever. Saw people talking about hard R and shit. No, that's all noise. Absolutely not. What Max's initial response to it was, hey, streams speak highly of you. Shit doesn't need to be brought to light. You don't have to worry at all. Like I said, I apologize for the tweet. I said, Max, you don't got to say all that. I would never speak ill about anything publicly. Breaks my heart, crushes me, whatever. I'm showing you guys this.
Poor choice of shirt, considering that he's being accused of saying the N-word. First of all, he's not even being accused of saying the N-word. He admits to it in this sequence of events. He's just like, yeah, I did, but I didn't mean it in like a he openly admits to that. He says he meant it in a like a quirked up white boy kind of way, where he was just like using it as a term, not directionally in a racist manner, which again is a distinction without a fucking difference.
Transcript for transparency purposes. I've deleted all sensitive information.
Wait, what is this? What? Yeah, this past couple of weeks have been rough, bro. Overall family and dislike. I'm leaving FaZe, and I just wanted to say, despite our disagreements and our differences and whatever, I don't want to get on the phone and chop it up with you. Whenever down the line soon, I definitely need some time. Just think and collect everything right now. But I want to say I appreciate you and the shit you've done for me, because you have helped in many ways, and that shit is very appreciated, bro. And it's not taken for granted the slightest bit, despite whatever is happening over the course, past couple of weeks, months, whatever. And I have love for you still, of course. That's it. Last a lifetime, you know, and I don't regret being in FaZe a single second at all. I'm definitely glad I did this, but I think it's just time for me to part ways for sure. And I just wanted to give my appreciation 100%. So first of all, like, this doesn't make Max look bad at all. If anything, this makes you look bad for revealing this stuff, while also simultaneously revealing that you said the M word. And I say this as like someone who's known Banks for many, many years. It's just like this is incredibly disappointing. And I don't want people to say, I told you so in the chat. Okay. This is fucking ridiculous.
Transcript for transparency purposes.
Like
I've deleted.
I'm looking at this as an adult. Okay. Wait, what? Why? What happened? I appreciate this voice message. This past week has been one of the worst of my life. I'll be honest. I'll always love for you, bro. I'll always be rooting for you. Did something happen? Yo, could you call me alone? I just have something I have to say. It will feel weird, wrong, off not to say it. I know it's a heavy time right now, but I got to tell you this.
All sensitive information. This is him randomly saying like you called it. This is after he left. I think he left like August 5th or something like that. Sent me this like you called it because the T app or whatever about guys. I said guys were gonna make one about girls. Whatever. I said we should have built it. This is the typical.
Too obvious law. We should that they commission a team to build it. We'd be way up. Okay. She hit me before Wham stream. That's my boy. Been telling him to tap in. Do you think that's good changes? I've been thinking about doing that for a while. He said 2,500. Nah, to be honest, PlaqueBoyMax is iconic, but 2,500 is free. Like you might as well cop that in case, or if you want to do something down the road with it, a project, a brand, 2,500 is nothing. 25 a pair of Balenci pants.
Kind of cars we would have. This is him responding to me asking if he wants at PlaqueBoy on Instagram. Asked me if I thought it was a good change. Told him PlaqueBoyMax was iconic. Again, typical conversations we would talk about.
You can bring if you want, of course, but it better if you slide solo. Calm shit, more of a personal combo than anything. I'm just come alone, still sliding. Can I pull up to you tomorrow at like 12? Today got away from me. Yeah, that's chill. You got Addy.
The first time Max came over since he left, it was at the end of August. He sat with me. We talked for a few hours. I want to say he was at my house 2-3 hours.
Does he use the same AAVE with other FaZe members? I love this community's analysis of everything that's going on here because like this is probably the least consequential aspect of this story. And the answer is yes, of course. And no, when he says Addy, he means address, not Adderall. Address. When he says you got Addy, context, it clearly to his house because they are meeting at his house. You fucking senior citizens in the chat. This is literally the retirement home. I swear to fucking God, I'm so embarrassed. And yes, no, this is how Banks talks all the time in text messages and clearly in private and also in public. I think Banks is okay to feel betrayed, but he's doubling down on bad principle because when you do good things, you don't do so expecting things in return unless it's on paper and both sides mutually agree to it. Is evidence that they both no longer agree and airing dirty laundry is just ugly. I mean, dude, at the end of the day, you can't both give homie advice while also simultaneously expect material compensation out of it. Okay, that's the problem. If you are an elder with who commands the attention of a lot of people, who's been at this game for a very long time, you have to remember who you are. You have to remember the position that you have. I sometimes give these guys advice. There is no expectation in return. You know what I mean? What the fuck? No, I'm doing that because I want to help them out. I'm not doing that because I want to fucking become their manager or some shit. Of course, you want to give advice to younger streamers who are going through similar things that you went through. Your experience is valuable in that regard, and especially when these guys are opening up to you, or they look up to you, or they want your advice on certain things. You should never air that. You should never air that dirty laundry. That's number one, and number two, that should not extend to well, let me just manage you. Like being a mentor is being a mentor. You shouldn't want something out of that beyond that. You're doing it because you want to help them out. You're doing it because you don't want them to fall into these traps.
And we left. I hugged him, told him I loved him, told him I'd always root for him. Apologized about the what was said. He said no hard feelings. Admitted several times that was not the reason why he left FaZe. That it was an accumulation of.
I love how you constantly harass your chat, but you don't acknowledge the fact that this is the lead up to what you've done for the past decade. You created your chat, brother. I'm 34 years old and I cover news, like adult news, every day. This chat, when I first started, was my age and younger. Over the time, we have gotten older. This is precisely the reason why when I cover shit like this or do any variety, many people actually get fucking mad and leave, not realizing that, variety is the spice of life.
Things, but as you'll see in this conversation, Max just thought that was the best move for his career. And that's just the simple facts.
Better than ever, my man, in a really good bag right now. God really got me. I tried to call a couple times. Wasn't while you were in the hospital. Happy wasn't anything crazy serious. That's wild. Health is everything. Push it in the perspective for sure. Hopefully you found a silver lining in that fact, but what's good. Thank you. I'm glad you're doing well. I just been working, taking a step back. Look at everything as a whole. My career streaming. So remember, this is at this point, I think Max has left FaZe. Again, 22 years old or 23. I don't know. He's left FaZe. I think he's in the hospital. He's in an emotional state. Like he's stuck in the hospital over and over again, and he keeps going in and out of the hospital because he has like a tattoo infection. Okay. And this is after the fact that he'd like had left and got a lot of shit for it. Thank you, and I'm glad you're doing well. I just been working, taking a step back, looking at everything my career. I just been trying to get better mentally and shit, but I'm back now. I'm about to take it there. But my question was, why do you think the desktop streaming died, and what do you think is the future of the streaming shit? Like, where is it gonna go?
Our dynamic. This is how
good.
It's all.
Best thing you can be is honest with yourself. Killing ego and those things go hand in hand. The run away from yes men and into the arms of people who push you and challenge you.
Man, talking about trying to get shit mentally better, mentally.
Asking Banks about streaming? Dude, of course he's asking Banks about streaming. You guys are laughing and joking and saying like, what the fuck does FaZe Banks know about streaming? But like, he's been around, okay? You have to remember, he's been around. He has been a somewhat of a iconic, he's had somewhat of an iconic career. FaZe as a brand probably means a lot for these guys. I mean, Max literally got a fucking FaZe tattoo, dude. Like these guys, they look up to these people, okay? They look up to these people. Like, think about it this way. It's the same with like XQC. Every single person that is under the age of like 25, especially during COVID, was locked in on XQC stream. So no matter what XQC does now, it doesn't matter. All of those people will still have a place, a special place in their heart for him. It's pretty crazy for us to think about, to be like, well, what the fuck? People look up to XQC? Yes, they do. In some ways, it's even similar to like Aiden Ross. People look up to Aiden Ross. Think about that. I'm putting the boomers in my chat on the wavelength so they comprehend the younger generation a little bit better.
This is the first time, October 10th. This is when he first kind of started to show signs of regret for leaving FaZe. Been working on.
Thank you, and I'm glad you're doing well. I've just been working, taking a step back,
taking a step back, looking at everything. Again, asking me for my advice. What do you think? Desktop streaming. This is so random, but he's
desktop
asking me why
died because we're fast food,
died.
swipe culture, meta, go, overstimulate me. How the fuck is a streamer meant to hold the attention of a massive audience when TikTok is a thing? What streamers serve today, in my opinion, is they're selling a parabolic, he means parasocial relationship. Is beyond a viewing or entertainment experience. It goes beyond that. It's a social experience. Half the reason men spend on OnlyFans is not to get a nut off. You can do that on any free site. Easy, better content too. Is the texting, the fantasy of human connection. Humans need to. Loki, he is actually kind of spitting here. I mean, he's not wrong. FaZe Banks, former FaZe Banks, is kind of right about a lot of the stuff that he's talking about here. He has been in this industry for a very long time. So his assessment, you know how I always tell you, like everybody says, like, oh, excuses a dumbass, excuses a dumbass, myself included. When he's talking about politics, he's a dumbass. When he's talking about this shit, XQC knows better than anybody else. And the same goes for Banks as well. They know this industry better than anybody else. They've been around for a very long time. Same with someone like myself. When I talk about like industry related shit, I'm oftentimes coming at it from all of my lived experience, right? And that's important. We've been doing this. These guys have been doing this, myself included, for 10 years at this point. In any case, humans need to feel a part of a community in a world where the next generation is chronically online. They have less and less real human to gums connection. I think streaming does the best to fill that void. So my answer is a two-parter.
A lot on the phone, a lot over text. Throughout the course that we knew each other, you would ask me for my opinions on shit.
I think people crave fast, quick, jump cut type content, much easier to produce. That experience in IRL setting with people is really why FaZe was a genius play and why it works so well. Two, people crave connection. People want family, want friends, and want to feel like they're a part of a bigger movement, community group. And IRL streaming serves the best, not only on live content, but in period in general.
This was our life.
Does that make sense? Not parabolic. Also, sorry, I meant parasocial. Yes, I see. Makes sense. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. But where do you think this shit goes? I don't know if I'm right or wrong either. That's just my take. I'm going to be honest. I'm looking forward to clipping meta, and current streaming meta is dying. It's the most toxic I've seen the internet in my life. Okay. Also, Banks, not wrong about that.
And this was our relationship with each other.
Also, let's not forget, the reason why he's revealing these conversations is to say like, oh, I was giving him like older homie advice and things were actually really good between us. Not realizing that, of course, Max probably looked up to Banks regardless of how he felt like he was treated by FaZe, and was looking to a person with like a lot more experience in this fucking field at a time when he was in a low moment and was worried about the future, worried about his future, worried about the future of the industry, all this stuff. Really pray that the pendulum swings back to art and people are less interested in creating moments for sheer attention's sake. If fake, it feels cheap.
Again,
I want to see people share ideas and be inspired to create art. Like, you feel me? Push boundaries.
We're just talking about like art.
He is still offering mentorship at this point, regardless of how they mistreated Max initially.
And culture and fucking shit like that. I don't know. Said happy birthday to me. I know I didn't respond because I noticed he said happy birthday to me.
Yeah, I feel you 100%. Definitely gonna be a culture shift. Happy belated birthday. I'm gonna make you proud, bro. Thank you for always believing in me.
After
Watch.
he saw Drake post the happy birthday post for me, which was weird and threw me off. And they all missed my birthday. I didn't get any happy birthdays.
Tuesday, November 4th. I just wish you believed in me in the same way. We had it in our hands. World takeover. I saw so clearly. You got the ingredients. Always have. We'll always root for you. Watching always.
I think Kason wished me happy birthday. I think Adapt wished me happy birthday, but the rest of them still on like weird.
Why didn't you wish Banks a happy birthday? I don't know. I mean, I might have actually, but I don't know. But not publicly.
Terms. And then randomly, November 4th. I'm gonna make you proud, bro. Thank you for always believing in me. Watch. Guys, this is 5 weeks ago, man. This is 5 weeks ago.
I do, bro. Trust.
All
I just
this
felt
shit
like
was
leaving
Spotify.
was part of me taking my next step, but your creative mind and understanding all this shit is insane. I don't doubt that at all. Thank you, bro.
Everything that Morgan has talked about happened months before this. In July. This is November, okay?
This is the CEO of a business, by the way. My partner doesn't even need this much
You
coddling.
believed in me the same way. Facts. Saw so clearly.
I do, bro. What you been on?
We just started reminiscing. We started
Been
talking.
hooping.
Sucks seeing the subathon, feeling left out. He agreed with that. I'm sure he felt.
Sucks seeing the subathon and feeling left out and on the sideline. I just got to celebrate and be happy with everyone. Only thing in my life that bums me out a bit, but it is what it is. Been
really
hooping
bummed
too.
And left out. Are you up? Got a question. Caller. I'm with my girl. I was going to ask you and Zach. He's just asking about, again, more opinions about his music and his career. End of the day, I love this game. I always will. I love talking games. Simple as that. Again, this is on fucking November 6th. I'm just off.
Zach was an amazing manager music-wise, in my opinion, but I didn't want to have him as a label and manager. Didn't like the crossover, brother. I love the literal best possible person to you, and you had me and Ray. You had the actual dream team behind you. Like I tried to tell you too many times, these weird UTA agents and managers who pay their bills off commission and know absolutely nothing about content or culture is not it. They are finessers. But at some point down the line, people who are up your ass and on your dick all day, every day, isolate you and put weird shit in your head about us because they're insecure.
As best my advice as I could.
But at some point, and then it's a situation where real talent, aka me, Zach, Ray, aren't gonna beg or sit around and stress shit like that because we're already rich and don't need the headache. And the only reason we even were interested is because we all saw a star in you. You feel me? Okay, now it's getting a little bit more. I would say now I feel like it's getting a little bit more manipulative in my assessment. Also, this is like, I don't think he fucking should not have leaked this information anyway. So I think here at this point, they're having a conversation over like who gets to manage Max, and Banks is saying that they have more understanding of like where culture goes and they can be a more comprehensive, like full service 360 manager rather than like the UTA guys and all these other people that are in their corners. And there is a little bit of truth to that as well. Cause like a lot of the from my experience as someone who has, been rep by agencies for the last 10 years. Yes, agents are just going to throw work your way for commission and they're not necessarily as up to date on your brand and are not as hands-on. I hope you're getting a better deal, Hassan. This seems like a Shark Tank. Brother, I need you to understand something. One, I've been through all of this stuff already. And two, my line of work is very different. Okay. For me, the thing that I was worried about always was making sure that I had someone I could trust and making sure that I had someone who would say, fuck no to everything. Like there's never been a moment where my management was like, oh, let me get a piece of like your own personal revenue. I would laugh that off. That would just not happen. That would be ridiculous. And for the most part, this is part of the reason why I also was, I also chose to stay independent throughout my streaming career in general. But then again, when I got into this business, I was already like 26, right? And I had worked a normal job already, like a real, adult job. I worked under someone. I had, I already had like made up my mind about what I wanted to do. Whereas these guys are very young and they blow up very fast. I did not blow up very fast. Took a long time, slowly but surely, for me to get to the point that I got to.
Ask him. You guys can stop, pause, read the whole conversation if you want.
Like, is people who depend on a 10% commission for a random shitty Nike ad versus us who want to work our asses off to find you to eventually do a Jordan 1. Nah, yeah, shaking my head. shit makes me sad. You live and you learn, but damn, brother, you're so young and nobody holds it against you.
This is me getting into the details about his scummy ass fucking UTA agent who was whispering shit in his ear about.
It's never changed. There's big holes and gaps in my team. I get so in my head, bro. It's bad. I'm trying to work on myself every day. You ever feel like you know where you could be, but you don't know where the bridge is to get there? Like it's just foggy. Of course, brother, because you're working with actual scrubs who are LARPing as goats when you should be allowing the ghosts to run your team from the top down. Shit's annoying.
FaZe,
and that's just me shooting straight. I mean, zero disrespect. You got to take accountability for where you fuck up. I think your biggest weakness by far is how you flip flop and change your mind on shit so frequently. I'm not going to lie. I think like Banks has, I think he does actually have strong suits and talents. It's just that he thinks that his knowledge on certain things extends to everything else because of that. Like if he didn't actually have experience in like what is relevant culturally and whatnot, Max would not be asking him these questions, right? But the problem is that understanding of like what pops off or where the culture is going does not mean that you will be a good manager. It does not mean that you are the best person at like hiring other managers and things like that. Or that does not mean that that is not going to extend to, I don't know, fucking doing cryptocurrency shit, right? Like it's just not, this is, in my opinion, one of my greater strengths is that I know what my limitations are. So whenever people go, why don't you start a media company? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I go, hey, I have a very specific set of skills that I'm very good at. And my goal is to make sure that I have a solid team around me to ensure that I'm, you know, doing the things that I'm good at and not focusing on things that I'm not good at. That's it. His age is obviously the reason why a lot of people, younger people especially, like dunk on him for it. They say bro is 40 and whatnot, but like he's been here, he's been around for a very long time. He's still somewhat tapped in, especially for someone who is fucking 34 years old. I'm the same age as well. Obviously, don't come for his age in this chat, okay?
A lack of commitment to shit. This looks like everything that I've been saying the last 2 days, and I'm saying in this video. I'm saying it directly to him in a much nicer way. But
Max, wake up, because all these people are scum and divide and conquer. And like again, all due respect, you're a kid with zero experience. You're easily finessed. A guy like Max stands absolutely zero fucking chance with fools like me or Bia or Ray. Like you can't hide from us. We see exactly who you are and what you can do. You know. Okay, this is getting a little weird in my opinion. Down to leaving FaZe, I said one single time, I think that's the worst possible thing you could do, but best of luck. I never one single time in knowing you press you or try to force you into any which way. Never, not one time. Anytime you stood on a decision, I was cool with it and roll with it. And when we sit and talk, Max, what do we talk about? Ideas, progression, game, moving forward, content, the shit that matters. You gotta be really fucking careful, Max, with people who spend time downplaying people or talking shit on other people. Okay, but you did that just earlier. Now, I don't know about the fucking UTA guys, okay? I don't know about the UTA guys, but my advice to all upcoming streamers when they ask me for advice is always, you got to know your talents. You got to have a team that you can trust first and foremost around you. And you have to, in many respects, you have to do everything on your own. Even when it comes down to the sponsorships that are coming your way, okay? It's mostly inbound, okay? It's mostly inbound requests that your agency is going to handle. And your agency is going to handle the inbound requests, and you are the one who is actually bringing in those inbound requests by, you know, gaining momentum. The people that are manicuring or massaging your brand and making you into a brand are always going to demand a lot more in return. And ultimately, because this is such a personal relationship that you have with your fans, you have with your community, you have to rely on yourself a lot more than relying on others. So in that situation, I think like having a corporate talent agency that simply is sending ad deals your way is probably a little bit better than getting locked into a 360 deal with any sort of management. A lot of the management side in this industry can be very predatory, very exploitative. Okay, that's it. A good manager can totally see the talent in you and pluck you from irrelevance and turn you into this like incredibly famous, incredibly talented figure that you become, because you always have to have a team around you. Having said that, ultimately it still comes back to your own personal talents and your own resilience, your own intensity, your own interest in like continuing to push through everything, through all the highs and lows. Anyway, but this conversation that's taking place here, in my opinion, is just like Banks basically saying like, oh, look, we have a lot of skill We know what pops off. We know what's fucking, we know what's cool. We know the culture a lot better than your agents do. And there is truth to that statement. Of course, Banks knows a lot more about the culture than fucking a random UTA agent does. But that's not what a UTA agent does anyway. A UTA agent is not supposed to mold you and turn you into the talent you end up becoming. A UTA agent is supposed to just bring deals your way constantly, and that's how they make their money.
So
I know what to do, bro. I just feel like I'm stuck, but I appreciate this convo. I'm gonna figure it out. When I first joined, I'm not gonna lie. Like last summer was the happiest I've been. I was doing shit together, living life, creating. Shit's been cool since I left. I've been smooth sailing, but I just don't feel like I'm progressing nowhere, and I don't feel like creatively I'm really doing anything. And I realize how weak mentally I am to be able to allow others to sway my mind so easily on certain things. Unfortunately, oh God. That makes me kind of sad, dude.
Bro,
It's
I just feel like I'm stuck. I appreciate you for this conversation. When I first joined, I'm not gonna lie, last summer was the happiest I've been. Just feeling doing shit together, living, creating, shipping cool since I left. I've been smooth sailing, but I don't feel like I'm progressing nowhere. Whatever. Again, expressing regret for leaving.
like I didn't think it was like bad. Like the advice he was giving initially was bad in general, but I think like at this point he's just like it does come across like it is an agenda, and the agenda is like come back to me and like Zach Bia and Ray, and we will manage you instead. Like we know what's best. And there's truth to like them understanding culture, obviously, right? They are super fucking tapped in. They are linked up with every single celebrity on the planet. So there is truth to that for sure. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they would be the best managers or have his best interest at heart. Okay. And also in this situation, and he's like obviously in a very mentally vulnerable state. Yes, Zach be a king of the night. We got to lock the fuck in, trust, and get busy. I'm open to it, but you need a lot from you because to be honest, we all just feel crazy because it should have been like that a year ago. We'd be in the craziest spot right now.
Guys,
I know how it goes because, brother, I got manipulated and fucking scammed out of my entire company by guys who convinced me it's the way it happens. You live and you learn. Why you think I have no love lost with you? Why do you think I'm not bugging out, mad at you? But it's like, damn, bro, how let this happen? I lost the plot badly because I know what it is, bro. Like, you got to definitely take responsibility, but I know what it is.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely on me for sure. Like, I fucked this whole shit up, FaZe, everything. Like, damn, I talked to them this before subathon a couple weeks, but they didn't want me back. I understood. They don't owe me anything, to be honest, but I just know what I offer. And I think everything would go even crazier, but ultimately this on me. I'm still cool with everybody though. I showed love where I can, but more than anything, I did miss working with you and Ray. Like I said, the N-word and the contract shit threw me off bad, bro, but I'm past that. And we talked about it, so I don't give a fuck. And I get your POV. This right here is one of the craziest fucking parts about what FaZe Banks, or formerly known as FaZe Banks, now known as Ricky Banks, was revealing. This, like, when I first heard about this, like, I thought that it was kind of fucked up that you got a 22-year-old talented kid who's a streamer, and he wants to also be like a musical talent. You know, he wants to be a producer, and he's blowing the fuck up. And in the process of blowing the fuck up, they try to pin him down on a contract that he doesn't like that much, while telling him like, oh, the people around him, the people he's surrounded himself with, are not good for him. And there might be a little bit of truth to that as well, right? But it's fucking crazy that like in that same process, like he gets a bad contract. He doesn't like the contract, and also gets called the N-word, regardless of what the intent of the deployment of the N-word is or not. It doesn't fucking matter. It's completely ridiculous. Okay.
Everything. Damn.
And like revealing this stuff, unironically makes Banks look far, far worse.
Wow. Talked to them before the subathon. Want me back. They didn't want him back. Like I said, still cool with everybody. More than anything, I dead miss working with you and Ray. And like I said, the N-word and contract shit threw me off bad, bro. But I'm past that, and we talked about it, so I don't give a fuck. His words, not mine. His words, not mine.
Like, I don't know why he thinks this doesn't make him look worse. Like, you got a young dude straight up saying like showing maturity in a place where he doesn't really need to. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, this makes Max look more mature. I don't know. I don't know all these guys that well, okay? Including Max. I've known Banks for a lot longer than I've known Max. And you have a set of responsibilities if you want to be in a managerial role. You have to recognize the respect you command from the people that you're working with. You have to you know, you can't be doing stuff like that. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, screenshot that one. I'll reply to this whole fucking video with that screenshot because I mean, I don't even remember this part of the conversation, but
it's kind of like the same principle behind like why the FaZe stuff fell apart, right? You're like, oh, we put a lot of funds into this to make you guys pop off, but now you're not giving us more revenue in return. And it's like, yeah, well, your job in a managerial position is to bring in so much in terms of sponsorship revenue that you're, you know, off a commission, you're making a return on that investment. If that's not feasible, then you made a bad investment. You can't just like turn around and demand additional percentages of revenue that they are individually generating for themselves, especially when the alternative is they basically fucking leave and do it on their own and probably actually end up getting even more sponsorships in the long run.
I promise you, Max, it's one of those things that could be a positive. I'm just staying optimistic. Talking to him about getting him back in FaZe, about getting him back on the track he wants to be on, whatever.
Make
like,
Babe Witch. Thank you for the 25 gifted.
I haven't even read this until right now, like all of it. This week in my crib, I have some ideas. I'm with you. Mentally taxing, I know. More responsibility for sure. What do you think about the Rakai music video? Again, randomly just asking about Rakai, some music video shit. Chop it up.
Dude, he just keeps bringing it back to, let me put you on with myself, Zach Bia, and Ray. Like, I guess it's dependent on whether you think this was worthwhile. Like, whether you, as the onlookers and the outsiders, think that this is a worthwhile collaboration or not. But it just kind of feels like he wants to like manage him. He wants to manage him over and over again. And it turns away from like older brother advice to a person who is saying like, I'll manage you. Leaning into Twitch. What is this? Question. What do you think about the Rakai music video and that type of shit?
Get what you're saying. Thank you. What time tomorrow? Comes to my house on November 7th. We talked for 7 hours. 7 hours. Max gets into all the details about how much he's paying his aunt, his cousin, and how his fucking business is a disaster, and asks me for a bunch of opinions and advice on what to do. And I told him, fire everybody except for Trey, and know how much money you're spending every month, and get this shit under control, and it's all going to be all right, and I got you. If you want my help, I'll help you. I appreciate you more than I can ever say. Content-wise, everything's smooth. Sheesh. He says it himself, his business, after leaving FaZe, sheesh. All good. Like I said, I'm going to...
Also, I don't think his business was bad. I think business was booming, at least from what I can see from the outside. He wasn't getting those sponsors when he was with FaZe, but he was getting those sponsors after, right? So, yeah, his viewers dropped off crazy right after FaZe, Hassan. Then it came back. Exactly. But that's normal. It happens. And he took a hit, and then he built it back up.
It's happening with you every day. And I know this is long, but I don't want to miss anything. I want to be fully fucking transparent. Asks me on November 9th, where does your happiness come from?
15 minutes.
Again, guys, does this look like a
Just don't spiral. Remember when I said, end of the day, you're infinitely further ahead than you ever thought possible. Thank God for this experience. You're beyond blessed / lucky. Everything really good except the mental, bro. That's the worst part. The mental and the financial shit, obviously, but Grammy nominee, etc. shit rolling, bro. I just got to get all ends business-wise on track.
Two
Feel
people
me?
have a problem with each other. Does this look like...
Yes, you're in an amazing spot. I promise you, if it was bad, I'd tell you it's not at all. If your mental isn't taken care of and you don't fix a broken system, you got to set up, you definitely got bad. But right now, she's great.
Max has issues with me. Does this look like I'm doing wrong by Max? I don't know. You guys tell me.
I think like the problem here is, I think a lot of the back and forth and the miscommunication stems from Max trying to get advice from and also help as peers from Banks and also from, I assume, Zach Bia King of the Night as well. But they want to actually manage him. They want a percentage. And that is the issue. Because if they were just simply giving him advice and even connecting him with like other famous people and they're friendly with one another, then that's one thing, right? That's one thing. Like that's great. He's not going to have any issues with that. Max is not going to have any issues with that at all. But because it turns into like this transactional thing at the end, you know, yeah, that advice ain't for free, but it's supposed to be, chatter. That's the whole point. It's supposed to be.
Maybe I'm fucking crazy. I don't know. It's just crazy, bro. November 11th, but yeah. And then on November 15th, he had been calling me.
Let's make sure it makes sense on all ends. Yo, Speed's manager introduced me to someone who's been pretty helpful for what's going on, and is someone's vision I like and can trust. But I appreciate you always for being there and looking out for me. Love, brother.
Speed's manager introduced me to someone. He's been pretty helpful in what's going on. Someone's vision I like, I can trust. But I appreciate you always being there for me, looking out. Love, brother. And that's the last time we talked before he sparked up yesterday.
Yeah, you hit him with a fucking thumbs up. It kind of feels like you got mad, low key. This doesn't look good. It looks like you got mad that he wouldn't sign with you.
It's the last thing we talked about was that. So again, fake, right, wrong. You guys tell me.
And there you guys go, as you can see. Yeah, Max, I don't know. You guys tell me. It doesn't seem like me and Max have a problem. It doesn't seem like we've really had any sort of real issues in the last 5 months. It doesn't seem like I've done anything but try to help the kid. And I'm not just going out of my way and randomly offering him my opinions and my advice. He's asking for them. And he's treating me like a mentor. And he's confiding in me about things. So you guys tell me, like, this awful, terrible monster of a person who took all this shit from him and you know, like, it's insane. And Max, as it goes for this word that I said, first of all, I didn't say this targeted toward you. This wasn't said in any sort of racist connotation. I said this word in an emotional response. And I said, fuck all y'all blanks. And it's a fucking mistake and I'm fucking retarded. I'm a 34-year-old man-child and I have many, many flaws. And I'm an idiot for saying that. But bro, stand on. If you really have a problem with that, then why has it not been a problem?
Yo, listen to me. For all the edgy white boys, okay? For all the edgy white boys who might still be in this chat, I don't think that there's many here. You know, I think we've shed a lot of that, okay? I need you to understand something, okay? Stop saying the fucking N-word. No in private, no in public. Just what the fuck is wrong with you? Because you will come across like this, okay? Before you know it, you're, 34 years old and you're managing a team of content creators. And from your managerial position, you end up slinging it. Jesus Christ, dude. In a situation where you have influence over people, in a situation where you like literally were their manager, like you can't be doing that. Okay. I can't believe I'm saying this in 2025. You can't be doing that. That's number one. And number two, you can't be fucking defending it, taking ownership over it, and then turning around and being like, well, if you hated it, why did you still seek out advice? Like, that doesn't make you look better. That makes you look worse. Questioning whether or not it's offensive. Like, yes, dude, yes. This makes what do you call it? This makes Max look like the adult in the situation who really shouldn't have to let stuff like that slide, and just took it on the chin, never made a bigger deal out of it, and never even came out and revealed this information. It was his cousin who was also his assistant at the time, who like actually revealed it. That's crazy. And on top of that, like, it's fucked up to hear that from someone you look up to. What are we doing here?
For the last 5 months. If you really have a problem with that, why have you told me multiple times I don't have a problem with that? We're good.
Obviously.
If you really have a problem with that, and I can say this, Ron, last subathon, fucking said it. Muted his mic and said it. The chat laughed, and everybody told him to say it. And he said it. Lacey has admitted to saying it publicly. You know this. So why isn't that a problem?
Bro, that doesn't make it. Oh my God, what is happening? Bro, again, you're 34 years old. I can't believe you're doing this. Jesus Christ.
Members in FaZe have said it in the confines, behind the scenes, off cam, in the presence of other black creators and FaZe members. And this was never a problem. It's only a problem now because it's convenient for you and for this narrative to make me look like.
Bro, he literally said he was letting it go, as in, it did fuck him up to hear that. How do you not? This is not a good defense. There should be no defense. The correct thing is to just not say it. But let's say you did. This thing happened. The correct thing in the situation is to say, I'm so sorry that I did this. There's nothing I can really do to fix the situation. But I'm just sorry that I said it. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm a 34-year-old adult. I don't understand what this like. Oh, well, other people are saying it too, and nobody had an issue with it then. Like, what the fuck?